mean to say today too much of a written work will be there because somehow we have got stuck with first question only. So today somehow or maybe anyhow we are going to finish the first question. After that we are going to move on to the second question. So I had explained about the good networking skills. Kindly write down please. Write down in front, make a small dash and in front of good networking skill, write down. Good negotiation. Yes, good networking skill was there. It was good networking skill was there. In front of it, put a small dash and write down please. Here the networking. Here the networking is related to. Here the networking is related to making contacts with making contacts with vendors making contacts with vendors comma should have the list and contact numbers should have the list and contact numbers of the targeted clients or customers of the targeted clients or customers. Along with that, of the targeted clients or customers. Along with that, the event manager. Along with that, the event manager should easily be able to convince the celebrities or VIP who are currently in demand. Next, write down the next subtitle, nature of job. Next, write down the next subtitle, nature of job. Nature of job means what kind of a job a particular, you can say that event management professional will actually have to perform. So under it, write down. Generally, if we talk about under it, write down generally if we talk about generally if we talk about any event then it has to be divided. Generally if we talk about any event then it has to be divided into 3 stages. It has to be divided into 3 stages. The first stage is called pre-event research. The first stage is called pre-event research. The next stage is the planning and the execution of the event. The next stage is the planning and the execution of the event. And the final stage is dedicated to, and the final stage is dedicated to post event analysis. Is dedicated to, and the final stage is dedicated to post event analysis. Make a full stop. So there are so many activities. So there are so many activities which an event professional, has to perform under these three stages. Has to perform under these three stages. Full stop. Under these three stages. Full stop. Right? Here I have not been getting into the detail of it because all these things are basically the, you can say that the foundation of the whole event management subject itself. So that's why I have been keeping it as brief as possible. Next, again gives subtitle remuneration. 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 Remunerations means salary. Yes, obviously, very good, excellent. What would be the salary? What would be the emoluments? What would be the perks? Like for those people who are being associated with the event management, right? So under it, write down the salaries and the benefits. The salaries and the benefits are directly related to the event with which the company is associated with. The event with which the company is associated with. Make a full stop and write down. It would be higher. It would be higher in case that event. It would be higher in case that event is catering to catering. The event is catering to high-end customers. Put a full stop and write down. It is obvious that international event management company offer good packages compared to the domestic one. Offer good packages compared to the domestic one. Because their source of income directly linked to the government agencies or to the corporate world. Directly linked to the government agency or to the corporate world. That's it. Government agencies or to the corporate world. WORLD world. Okay, fine. Next subtitle, scope, SCOPE, scope of event planning. Put a small dash and write down job opportunities. Scope of event planning. This is again the next subtitle. Make a small dash and write down job opportunities.
So the both are same.
Scope of event planning. Put a small dash and write down job opportunities. Job opportunities. What we are going to discuss under it? Under it, we are going to discuss some of the positions which are basically there in the basic event management company. As we have discussed earlier, depending upon the budget or depending upon the financial status of that particular event management company, there could be n number of other positions also, right? And in the recently the paragraph that we have finished, there we have also mentioned like what would be the perks, what would be the salary, what would be the other benefits. That will purely depend on to which particular scale your event management company is going to deal. If that event management company is just generally going to deal with the domestic events, then obviously that particular company would be small. If that particular company is directly related to the, you can say that organizing the international based events, like if you talk about the Commonwealth Games, if we talk about your IPL matches, if we talk about any kind of sports events like Asian Games, that kind of a thing. So obviously their revenue sources would directly be from the government agencies. So obviously their scale of conducting that particular event would be very large, right? And definitely all the people who would be working under those particular event management company would be getting higher package. That's what how it is. So now we are focusing on to basically the five basic positions. Generally, if you want to enter your start your career by entering into the event management company, so these are the five positions which will remain open for you, right? Like if we talk about the hotel, in the hotel there are departments are there, right? F&B service department will be there, your kitchen department will be there, HR will be there, sales and marketing will be there, housekeeping will be there, front office will be there, likewise. So basically there are, you can say that the five areas or the five departments which generally is to be considered as the basic department of any simple or small event management company. But if that particular event management company would be having a very large base, then there could be some other allied departments also, right? So write down the first, marketing and promotion. Write down the first, marketing and promotion. Here also we are going to write down 5 points. First is marketing and promotion. Put a small dash and write down they are responsible for pre-marketing and conducting the post-event surveys and conducting the post-event surveys. Put a full stop and write down during the day of the event. During the day of the event, they focus on the promotional activities. They focus on the promotional activities in order to promote the event at a large scale. in order to promote the event at a large scale. Next, write down second position, event planner. Second position, event planner. Make a small dash and write down generally event manager. Generally, event manager is the head of the event planning committee. Generally, event manager is the head of the event planner committee, and they draw out the report. And they draw out the report before actually starting the planning work. They draw out the report before actually starting the planning work. Next, third position, event manager. Third position, event manager. This person, event manager, put a small dash. This person has overall responsibility. This person has overall responsibility for the success of any event. Responsible for the success, overall responsibility for the success of any event according to the expectation of the organizer. According to the expectation of the organizer, and keeping the budget in the mind. And keeping the budget in the mind. Second last, production team. Production
Keeping
team.
the budget.
Next is second last, production team. Put a small dash here. Production team is basically related to the venue management team. Is basically related to the venue management team. Put a small dash and write down. They are responsible for the overall. They are responsible for the overall infrastructure and decoration part. Overall infrastructure and decoration part, including the audio visual, equipments. Last position, logistic, logistics, logistics. This team, logistics, logistics, logistics. What, feeling tired?
No.
Actually, this is, I think, is your third class.
Fourth.
This is fourth class. As me, I'm talking about event management. I'm talking about my event management subject. So this is basically our third class of the event management. And our target was at least to complete 2 questions by taking 3 classes. That was the target. And in spite of being the third class, still being somehow, we have got stuck with the first question only. Right? And as I told you very clearly, I will make you write down one particular single questions in such a way so that even if that particular question is going to come in your exam for 14 marks, you would be having enough knowledge and you can easily be able to write them. But still, I've been trying my level best to make you write down the things in a very brief form, right? And by using a very simple language. So today somehow we have to start the second question. So this is the last point and then it will be the end of this question. So write down the last one, that is logistic, and put a small dash. And what you have written? Have you written something?
This team.
Yes. This team look after all the transportation needs. Look after all the transportation needs, whether it is related to moving the infrastructure, whether it is related to moving the infrastructure, or it is related to providing the transportation facilities to the chief guest, VIPs, to the chief guests, VIPs, celebrities, participants, including vendors. So this is done as far as the first 14 marks question is concerned. That question basically comprises of 3 different questions.
ये क्वेश्चन का वो पूरा था बड़ा.
Actually, that particular single question was actually having the combination of 3 small questions. So that's why this particular question was having too much of an.
तो थोड़ा कम ही चाहिए ना. वही कह रहा हूँ.
See, let me to give you an idea. Like, first of all, tell me how many pages we have covered as far as that long form register is concerned.
5.
You have covered 5 pages. Are you including both?
Yes.
As 1 page only? Fine. If you have covered 5 pages and if you are sitting for obviously your exams, midterms exams and including end-term exams will be on offline mode only. Right? And maybe I think from the 1st of the Feb, most of the online classes will be get finished. There will not be any kind of an online class anymore. I think till the time the information that I have from the students only. Actually, this information has given to me by the students only, maybe by the first year students. So in that scenario, in the end-term exams, you have to just do 5 questions out of 10 questions. Generally, that particular format for the end-term exam I have been talking about. And if you talk about 14 marks question, so If the question consists of 14 marks, then obviously it will be consist of 2.5 page. 2.5 page means 1 page, 2 page, means according to you it will be 4 pages. Yes, and 2.5 page. So it will be 5 pages only. And if you would be having the notes of 5 pages, then at least while you will actually sit for the exams, you will be able to write down at least 2 pages. 2 page, according to you, it will be 4 pages. Why? Because there are two things. See, one is if you don't write down, if you write down just single page, then what will happen? If you write down the single page, so there will be word limit. It means you have not come near to that particular word limit. So obviously, no matter whatever the relevant thing that you have been written, the examiner or the person who is going to evaluate, your evaluator will not be able to give you 14 out of 14. Right. So it is not like you have to fill the pages, because one more thing that is also being taken into account, your handwriting, how you have written, whether you have left too many blank lines or not, or whether you have made a bold handwriting or not, just only in order to cover those 2 pages. So all these things matters. Along with that, whether you have jotted down, write it down, all the points or not, right? So that's why the exams will be slightly lengthy, right? So good. At least we are able to reach to our target somehow. Next, second question. Still enough time is there, 10 minutes are there. Moving to the second question, again 14 marks question. Hardly 3 minutes, because today, even if I see only 15 students are there only, and here in front of me hardly 15 students would be sitting. So, what are the different categories of event? And you all students are very lucky. Even the class time has become very shorter. What are the different categories of event?
What are the different categories?
Of event. So rather than giving any brief idea what all the different categories, we are directly jumping onto its category itself. But in case of an exam, although okay, although I am going to make you write down the 16 categories. I am going to make you write down the 16 categories, but keeping the exam point of view in your mind, there even if you will be able to write down and explain briefly only that 12 categories, that would be more than enough. Right? So you have two options. One options would be either you will have to write down the 16 to 16 categories, or in a very brief, or you have to write down the 12 categories, whatever the relevant information that I've been sharing with you, that information you will have to write down. Somehow you will have to like add on something from your own side as well, right? So write down the first category, social event. Write down the first category, social event. Under it, I am not going to discuss in detail, because these things you can explain it very well, right? So I have been giving you a very brief idea. Some examples are, put a small dash and write down, some examples are wedding. Some examples are wedding function, comma, birthday celebrations and anniversaries. Birthday celebrations and anniversaries. So it is wedding, functions, birthday celebrations, and anniversaries.
So we have to explain this in brief.
By yourself, because in order to lower down your burden of written part, so this is something which I think you can also easily be able to explain it on your own. Wherever actually you are not being able to write down on your own, there I will give you some brief things. But as far as exam is concerned, if you will just write down social events, under it you will write down marriage function, birthday and celebrations, and you can say that different marriage anniversary, something like that. So at least you will have to try to describe it with at least 2 to 3 lines each, right? By your write down the second type of event, which is I think more important, because under this even the MCQ questions can come. Corporate events. Corporate events. Under the corporate events, write down alphabetically A, B, C, D like that. Write down the A seminar. Write down the A seminar. Put a small dash. This is basically a gathering. This is basically a gathering only for a short duration of time. Only for a short duration of time, comma, generally comprises of 1 to 2 hours only. Generally comprises of 1 to 2 hours only. Make a full stop. Only single session. Only single session takes place. Only single session takes place. Next, write down B part. Conferences. 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 Here the gathering would be large and such event can last up to, here gathering would be large and such event can last up to 2 to 3 days.
And such event can
Last up to 2 to 3 days with multiple sessions. Yes. So these are 2 examples of the corporate events. If any event, any gathering will be there, and that particular gathering is supposed to be organized hardly for 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hours, max to max 4 hours only. And there is one single session only. There is no break in between. There is no kind of a thing like morning session will be there, evening session will be there, or first session will be there, maybe next day, next session will be there. So that would be called a seminar. Moving to the second aspects about the conferences. And if any MCQ questions will be there, or maybe single line question will be there, or maybe you can say that 2 marks or 1 marks question will be there. So there, if the conference will come, you will have to write down in brief the relevant information on it. As far as conference, large gathering will be there. That conference can even extend up to 1 day, 2 day, 3 day, or even 4 days, more than that also. and multiple sessions can be there in each day, like morning session, evening session. There would be break in between, something like that, right? Write down the C. Convention. 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 What is that time for this class?
210.
2:10. Fine. Enough time is there. Convention. 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 Make it small dash and write down. Here also large gathering would be there. Here also large gathering would be there. But all the participants would be having the common interest, and are related to single profession,
Would be having the common
interest and would be related to single profession, like the convention of yes, okay, then sorry, like the convention of
So can you repeat? Would be related to single
profession. Make a full stop. Then it was like convention of the doctors or the judges, etc. So before making you write down some more thing, let me to make this idea very clear. Like if you talk about this particular class, so this particular class with the having the session of approximately 1 hour can be considered as seminar. Where I am the speaker, you all are the audiences, right? Clear? So this is all about the seminar. Moving to the next, that is the conference. Under the conference also, there will not be one particular single speaker or the chief guest or the celebrity. There could be n number of speakers or celebrities. Some of the speakers are going to give the lecture maybe on day first. Some of the speakers are going to join the same session maybe on the day second, likewise. And that particular conference keep on going on for few days. So that is called conference. Here also in conference, there will be some chief guest, there will be some celebrity, and there will be some audience. Now, moving to convention.
Sir,
Yeah,
can conference be on only for 1 day?
generally not. Generally not. It can be of 1 day, but if it will be of 1 day, then it will be having two sessions, morning session and evening session. Because you cannot let all the audience to sit in front of you and keep on listening to you without having the break in between for the lunch or maybe for any kind of snacks, right? So your audiences, they cannot keep on listening to you. So that won't be called as an then seminar. That will become the conference. Now moving to the third part, which is very important. That is convention. Convention means what? Convention means the speaker who is telling or who is explaining is also belong to the doctor, and all the people who are sitting in front of me are all the doctors. So we all are basically related to single profession. That profession is the medical profession. And we all are over here to discuss a single issue that is our area of interest. Maybe we all are doctors and we all are related to the skin doctors. So here this particular convention is related to derma part. Where derma or dermatologist means any doctor who is basically specialized in the skin treatment. Derma is a medical term for the skin. So that's why the dermatologist is there. So now convention is clear. So convention means any kind of a gathering where all the people, including the person who has been giving the speech, including the audience also who are listening or who are grabbing that particular speech, we all belong to single professions. More than that, we all are over here because we all want to learn one thing or the other, right? So there is one particular topic, that particular topic is the common interest area. Clear? Now write down the next SYM. It is again one more category of the corporate event. SYMPOSIUM. Again repeating. SYMPOSIUM. It is called symposium. Symposium. Make a small dash. Generally here, make a small dash symposium. Generally here, it is a gathering of. Generally here, it is a gathering of expert people only. It is a gathering of expert people only. Make a full stop and write down. They also belong to the same profession. They also belong to the same profession. Again, make a full stop and write down. And here, they give presentations. And here they give presentation to the research that they have done, to the research that they have done in a particular field. And present their paper.
Isn't there?
Paper means research work. Present their paper. Make a full stop. Then make a full stop. Write down. Then the discussion will be done. Then the discussion will be done on that research activity. On that research activity. Now let's try to understand this term symposium. So here what the symposium means, like we are 10 people out over here, or maybe we are 50 people out over here, and we all the 50 peoples are expert on a single field, like we all are doing PhD. If we talk about the educational one, right, we all are doing the PhD. PhD means we all are doing the doctorate degree, and which is generally done after the master. And while doing the PhD, we all have to do some research work. So we all are expert in our field. So individually, one by one, we are going to stand on the stage. We are going to show our research activities, and we are going to do the presentation. Once each one of us have done the presentations, then at last we all are going to sit together, and then we will do the discussion. And the discussion would purely be based on our research work. So that is called symposium. So convention is different, symposium is different. In symposium, only the expert people will be there. But in convention, like maybe that particular speaker would be the bigger doctor, and maybe that particular listener would be the fresh doctors. Fresh doctors means they would not be having enough of an experience. But that thing will not be there in case of symposium. In case of a symposium, all the people will be HODs only. All the people will be expert only. So you can say that convention can take place between the principal and the teacher. But if we talk about symposium, symposium will be taken in between the principals only. That is the only difference. Like one principal from one school, the another principal from another schools, and they all are sitting together. They all are giving the presentations on one particular topic. They all are not only giving the presentations, they are going to present their research work also. They are going to present their research paper also. And once that particular research paper has been taken into account, then they all sit together in order to have a kind of a formal discussion based on that particular topic, in order to come up with its outcome, right? So that is called a symposium. Clear?
Yes, sir.
I hope there would not be any doubt. 6 minutes are there.
So,
Okay. Still, okay, I am not making you write down. Still, under the corporate events, two more basic forms are still there. So those 2 points also we will discuss in the next. So next time onwards, whenever you listen this word, any seminar is going on, XYZ place, any conference is going on, any convention is going on, any symposium is going on, I hope you will not get confused. Still 5 minutes are there, maybe last few minutes I am going to take the attendance. Yes. So it is very nice, like most of the students who are, like I am talking about your seniors, they are performing quite very well during their IT periods. More than that, few students have finished their ITs because their like training period was only for I think 6 months and only for 3 months I will to say, and a few more students are doing they are continuing their ITs. And this is the, you can say that the last opportunity in front of them. If they will perform well, they will directly be absorbed in the industry. They will be offered the job. Right? So because till the time the international flights are not going to be get resumed, the growth of basically hospitality industry, if we talk about the 5-star hotels, will not come onto the track. Right? And it is very good for all of you. Basically, behind 2 reasons. First is most of you have cleared. I hope most of you would have cleared the midterm or the end-term exams for the last semester. And one more thing is, like from this semester onwards, your timings have become very short. So maybe after that you would be having enough time to enjoy in the evening. So there are so many good things that has happened. Yes, as far as activity is concerned, maybe slowly, maybe most of the activities will be get resumed in the gyms. And the only advice to all of you is by the time you will just complete your this semester, maybe during the last phase of completing this semester, you all again will have to keep on going for what? Your, I think IT interviews will start. Or maybe after 5th semester IT interviews. I think after 5th semester.
after 4th semester.
After 4th semester now. So yes. So after 4th semester your IT interviews are going to get fine. So you would be in a better position to grab the job compared to your seniors. Let's see what things are going to come up. How many of you are scared after talking with your seniors? Yes. What kind of an, you can say that, threat is there in your mind? Why you are scared for going to IT?
Scared of rejection.
No, why they will reject you? Obviously, they will not reject you because ultimately they are not paying you. Won't be called as. It purely depend on your mindset, right? How do you take that particular training? That is purely depend on your mindset. No matter if one particular hotel will not select you, maybe some other hotel will give you the opportunities, right? So there is no point of getting disheartened at all. And it is not even 101% sure, like if I have been going to do my IT from so and so property, at the end that particular property is going to offer me the job, right? So that is also not sure. So why we are supposed to scare off? Yes, Abhijit. That's it. Aditya Rawat, Akash Shetty, Akash,
Present, sir.
Akash
Present,
Shetty.
sir.
Who is
Yes,
Aditya
sir.
Rawat, present,
Akash.
sir.
okay? Aditya Rawat, Akash Shetty,
Present, sir.
Akash Singh Best, Akshay Panikar,
Present, sir. Akshay present.
Akshay Mehto, Aman Panwar, Anubhav Bel Gupta, Anuj, Arjun, Arunya,
Present, sir.
Ayushi, Ishan, Harsh, Jitesh, Karun, Kushal, Khatri.
Present, sir.
Present, sir.
Who is this? Kushal Khatri or Taneja?
Yes, sir. Khatri.
So Taneja.
Okay, fine.
Kushal Taneja.
Arora, Kunal, Meruka, Mohammed Hamad, Yusuf, Mathur, Muskan, Namit, Neeraj,
Present, sir.
Nishant, Pankaj, Pavan, Prachi, Prakash, Prakhar, Prince, Sachin Rawat, Sahil Mandral, Sahil Raza, Sahil Sharif, Samir Viyar, Shikhar, Shivam Baba, Shivani, Sumit Tiwari, Swastik Bhalla, Tanish Rawat, Tarun Sharma.
Present, sir.
Who is this? Tarun Sharma or Tanish
Yes,
Rawat?
sir. Sir Tarun Sharma.
Good. Tushar Mehta, Tushar Yadav, Utkarsh, Vaishali.
Present, sir.
Good. Varda, Gayatri.
Present, sir.
Good. Pavneet,
Present, sir.
Rohan
Sir,
Yadav.
Sachin.
Present, sir.
Talisha.
Present, sir.
Okay, fine.
Sir, Sachin Rawat present.
Okay, fine. Class is over.